This is part of the Lost Fathers called Clara. Her mother was a second wife, the second chance for Jose Attaway, who had made a family, got a son and daughters, and seen them married off and lost a wife and buried her with a stillborn infant in her arms, a thin, frail girl, Miss Betty Lassiter. She gave him 3 daughters more, while his hair turned white, gave him prattlings around the house where the quiet had become too much. What was it? Did that young wife give birth the charmed third time to a wildness she never spoke of, never acted on, but sat and peeled apples on the porch? Clara ran with men from the day her breasts began to grow. That was the coughing that killed her mother, the cancer that ate her father's chest out. At 14 she was pregnant, and afterwards she married Lynn Allen, who may have been the father, and Bill was the name of that son. With women he had neither luck nor the strength to leave them alone, and now I cannot count the women he had nor the children he scattered, a boy's seed over 3 states, or maybe 4. Lynn got tired of the children that peeped to him like naked birds in the nest when he came home from the barber shop or the factory in Jackson. So one day he did not come home. 30 years later they heard of him in California with 9 more children there, and a legend that floats about to finish the tale has him hanging himself somewhere, sometime, Atlanta, Arkansas. Bill could not stand the redneck fool. His mother married after she guessed. Her husband was dead, or might as well be. He could not share the house with this new man, lean as a skinned squirrel, smooth and edgy and bitter as a snake, so he left the red clay hill of the Hungry Mouse to live with his aunt in Jackson. So grew up a city boy. Next section. I remember one time when he was living with us, him and me was just like brother and sister, but we's cousins, you see. Went to the same school, too. Bill couldn't spell worth nothing. Well, he was about 17, just before he joined the CCC, building houses for Roosevelt. He knocked on the door one night, and there was Bill with one leg in his pants and one leg out, and he was running through the house, right out the back door, letting the screen door slam, and all he says was, "Police is after me. Don't tell, I'm here. It's about a woman." Next section. Alfie Bell was his next wife. He said it was Jack, the man who ruined the first marriage. He said he and Bill used to ride to Crossroads Church in a wagon together when they were boys. It was Jack, I learned later, who stepped in between Alfie Nell and Bill, taking Alfie Nell, making my father a cuckold, and I was sitting talking to this white-haired old man with a heavy face who'd ruined that first marriage, going where he did not belong, another man's place, and set Bill roaming first in those wanderings that made me. He gave me her picture, Gideon, the brother whom I met and loved and who died. Alfie Nell was a woman wearing out. And somebody aimed a small camera at her and took this one picture. It was not the face of that first wedding night, but a woman who'd sinned and been sorry for it, and gotten over being sorry and went on, making her life with her worn, bony hands. His mother, not mine, Glenn, the brother, who was too decent to talk about the family, said just that he didn't know. Glenn, who smoked and ate barbecue with a gusto like mine. Next section. Daddy was in the barbecue business when him and Mammy married, and they say there weren't no better barbecue in Henderson County than the Allen Barbecue there in Crossroads. That's how the Allen Food Company got started. That must have been about the time that Jack came into the picture. You can ask old Nate Hinlaw. He's a nigger, but he'll tell you. He worked for Daddy back then. Niggers is okay. I've worked with many a nigger, and they's as good as anybody else. Now, Daddy, he didn't like no nigger. No, he didn't like 'em at all. When he had that little machine shop there in Tatertown, there's a nigger come in, brought his truck in to be fixed, said he'd pay as soon as it was finished. He come to get it and told him he'd pay for it someday when he had the money. Well, Daddy just to cold cocked that nigger, laid him right out there on the sidewalk in front of Allen's garage. That must have been when he was living with Deli. He was a fourth wife, I think. Next section. What was it? The temper, blinding rage that ruined his life again and again? I ask, but I know. No, as near to home as my own heart. My father's heart that feels a fury that no power under God can fill up the wrath of. Frustration, call it frustration. Not fists, not firearms, nor guns can make my enemy acknowledge his mistake. I feel before the will of another instead of my own powerlessness, my anger. Else how small, ineffectual might I feel. Among the atoms I might fall away, as though to reach my will out through my fist to that other that is not my will. That was the curse of the Athens. And the human race.